英語研究プロジェクト、よくある間違いを分析します。今までやってきたトピックの中で、今回の直してほしいところが結構わかりやすいと思います。パッと見たらですね、あれそんなに間違ってるという方がいるかもしれませんが、実は I think it's not fun を言うとですね、意外と違和感があります。So let's take a look at this in more detail in a step-by-step way about the reasons why. First, let's look at the problem. I think it's not fun. I think it's not fun. So if you said this to a native speaker, they would completely understand what you want to say. But that's not the problem. You know, sometimes when you hear a non-Japanese person speaking Japanese, and they're talking away and they're having a nice conversation, and then just for a split second you feel, wait a minute, that was a little mistake. Should I say something? すみません。お勘定お願いします。Well, today's mistake is not quite as funny as that, but it's one of those mistakes that most English teachers will not take the time to tell you about. Until now. The reason is extremely simple. It's basically about the word think. If you're making a negative comment and using the word think, it's more common to say, I don't think, followed by a positive thing. So going back to our original sentence, I think it's not fun. So you should say, I don't think it's fun. Of course, in Japanese, you can say it in many ways. 楽しいと思う。楽しくないと思う。楽しいと思わない。楽しくないと思わない。So the last one is a bit confusing, but as far as I can remember, from all the Japanese that I've heard, you can use all of those patterns when speaking Japanese. But in English, there are basically two patterns. I think it's fun, and I don't think it's fun. The most important part is the verb think. So what's the solution to this problem? Well, whether you're using a verb or an adjective when you're using think, you have to remember think is always the star of the show. If it's a negative comment, then think is negative. I don't think. If it's a positive comment, then think is positive. I think. Of course, it depends on the topic. Negative adjectives like boring, bad, expensive, difficult can complicate things. But I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say, right? Are you coming to the party? Nah, I don't think I'm gonna go. So instead of I think I'm not gonna go, it's better to say I don't think I'm gonna go. Is Hiroki taking the TOEIC this weekend? No, I don't think he's taking it. Instead of I think he's not taking it, it's better to say I don't think he's taking it. What do you think of that new restaurant? I don't think it's very good. Instead of I think it's not very good, we would say I don't think it's very good. Is Steve going to the UK at Christmas? He doesn't think he'll have time. So instead of he thinks he will not have time, it's better to say he doesn't think he'll have time. How was the new Haruki Murakami novel? I thought it was a bit difficult to get into. So because this is a negative adjective, it's best to leave it with the positive think. Let's take a look at 5 example sentences. The first one is this. I don't think using chopsticks is very difficult, but people are always surprised when I can use them. Yeah, it always surprises me that. It's actually quite easy to use chopsticks. It's like using a pencil or something. My brother thinks the weather in Scotland is absolute pants. So this is a British slang expression. So if something is pants, yeah, it's underwear, pants, it means it's terrible, it's no good. So remember, it's a slang expression. It's a little bit rude, but I think it's fun. So be careful how you use this one.
Do you think studying languages is fun?
It goes without saying, I think it's fun. But it's important to have a goal. So it goes without saying is a really good expression. It means it's obvious. It means I shouldn't have to say this, but it's a good expression to use in conversation. My friend doesn't think raw fish is very tasty. So in this case, doesn't think plus the adjective tasty. Yeah, this is much better instead of saying he thinks raw fish isn't tasty. Yeah, the first one is much better. I don't think I'll watch the new Star Wars movie. They get more and more confusing. So for me, watching Star Wars movies, I find they kind of go back and forward in time. I lose the plot. Who's he? Whose father is he? Whose son's he? Yeah, too confusing for my simple mind. If you're a busy person but still want to learn English, click here for the 2 Minute English series. There are 50 lessons in this series. Come on then, I'll see you over there.